Good morning, everybody. It's Hammer. Today is Friday, January 12th, 2024. We're called Freaky Friday. I'm going to tell you why, because it is freaky. Live each and every day, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, about what's going on with rates and pricing, the live daily rate conversation, the only place on the web where you guys get to be a part of the conversation. If you're here live, say good morning. If you're watching on the replay, go ahead and give us a hashtag replay. Either way, don't forget to smash that like button, tag and share us in a group on Facebook. If you're on YouTube, give us a subscribe and a thumbs up. All right. Don't forget that you can sign up for our written lock advice, www.ratelockadvice.com. You can get our text alerts at www.ratetextalerts.com. Last but not least, although I love talking about rates and pricing each and every day, like Superman, baby, what we do here at Originator Success, we help you to get loans from Google and social media. Go learn how. Go to originatorssuccess.com. Check out our demo on. If you're not a member, an elite member, you need to be one. It's a couple $100 a month. If you're, I'm not going to tell you it's cheap, but you will get loans. So go check it out. Let's say hi to the live folks here. We got Tom Dedmore, Monica Dinkins, Bobby Searson, Mallory Fodiatis. Good morning, all. Great to have you here. So I'm going to flip on the screen. Let's go on to this today. Rate sheets should be a little bit better today than what we saw on yesterday, and actually maybe even more than a little bit better. So pricing was generally around 100, right? That was where this 5.5 coupon was. We're about 50 basis points better now. So that means that's actually pretty damn significant. That's an eighth, maybe. Yeah, there was a time it would have been a quarter point in pricing. I'm sorry, in rate. I don't know that today that we get that full quarter point, especially on a Friday. Better pricing this morning. And look at this 5-year pattern, not 5-year, 5-day pattern here, right? We were flat, we were flat, we were flat. That data came out yesterday. We got the whatchamacallit, we got the CPI inflation data, and poof, things just went through the roof. Today, also improving. Part of that to do with the wholesale producer price index. Again, came in a little bit better than what was expected. 0.2 forecast came in at 0.0, where the CPI may have failed to inspire with tales of disinflation. By the way, this is Matt Graham. This is not me. This is Matt Graham over at MBS Live. PPI is at least giving it a try. This report doesn't punch nearly as hard as the other one, but at least there's a modest response underway. And there was. You can see that here. We've got a nice reaction to that data. But I mean, most of the stuff happened yesterday, and I'm sitting here calling it Freaky Friday, but it's actually Freaky Thursday, because we should have seen bonds lose ground on yesterday's data, right? So hold on, let me get over here. So I think the best way for me to do this is to actually read you what I'm putting into the written lock advice this morning. All right. So, all right, here's the deal. Yesterday, the CPI inflation data came in slightly hotter than expected, or what we like to call sticky, right? It was sticky. Inflation is sticking around. It's not going away fast enough. Now, add to that, we had more Fed officials out there beating the drum that the Fed needs to hold rates where they're at for a while. In fact, and let me go ahead and I got too many screens open here. Let me go ahead and pop this up on the screen for you. In fact, we had, here she was, Cleveland Fed President Loretta Mester. She came out and was very clear, couldn't have said it any clearer. She said, I think March is probably too early in my estimate for a rate decline, because I think we need to see some more evidence. I think the December CPI report just shows there's more work to do, and that work is going to take restrictive monetary policy. Now, she's not the only one to say this. Other Fed members have been saying this as well. Okay, they couldn't say it any clearer, but here's where it gets interesting. If you ask anyone who follows this sort of thing, any of the pundits, economists, the traders, the gurus, heck, evilists, right? If we take a look here and you see on Reuters, much like the slightly peculiar debt market nonchalance after December's sticky inflation readout, that's even an understatement, right? We see that same thing being said here. The Federal Reserve has more work to do before it can consider cutting rates after yesterday's CPI data came in better than expected. Fed Reserve Bank of Cleveland President Loretta Mester said it was premature to consider cutting rates. Yesterday's data showed inflation picked up in the year through December, with higher housing costs driving more than half the price gain of goods prices, halting their month-long decline. blah, 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 blah. But yet, what happens? Look at this. When we look at Fed futures for a March cut, we're up to 80%, over 80% market probability that we're going to see a cut in March. All right. So basically, what does this mean? What this means is we've got data that says, hey, we can't see a cut in March. It's too early and it's not going to happen. So we've got data. Then we've got the different Fed officials the last few weeks. Oh, seriously? Is this like Zoom? They must use Zoom in this. Do you see how did you see that stupid little pop-up thing? It does that in Zoom now too, right? Anyway, there's other things you can do to make things and stuff. I don't know what they are. So anyway, we got number one, we've got the data. Number two, we got Fed officials that are trying to temper those expectations of markets. And then number three, I don't know, just those two are enough, right? So anyway, what we're looking at is it should be pushing rates a little bit higher when we see this kind of news. We've got data showing that it's sticky. We've got Fed officials saying that they're going to stick around, and yet markets continue to just drive this train. They refuse to turn this car around. As long as we see that, as long as we see sentiment continue in the direction that it's going, rates are going to stay where they're at or slightly improve. We're not going to see rates go up as long as sentiment of a March cut and overall number of cuts for next year continue to stay in the direction that they're at. Again, if you ask anybody like me who's reading the tea leaves, you've got data showing that it's a little bit worse. You've got Fed officials saying that they're going to keep rates higher. We would normally say, hey guys, rates are going to hold. They're going to move up because this is something that should be causing that. But it's not happening. And again, I'm going to bring it up on the screen, show you guys here. This is really the bottom line, is that right here is the bottom line. We have a cut, just markets refusing to give up the idea that there is a cut coming in March. And they are now looking at 1.75, that rates are going to have to get cut lower through the end of the year. Remember, the Fed members have said 0.75, 75 basis points, 3/4 point rate cuts. Markets, they were saying 6. That would have put us, we're at 5.25. That would put us at 3.75. Guess what? Look at this. Look at the dominant belief right now is that the Fed, they can't even cut 7. It would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I'm sorry. It would be the 7th that they'll start cutting in March and have to cut every month. Or if they pause anywhere in here, they're going to have to double up later in the year to keep the economy going. That's what markets are betting on. As long as we see that, we're going to see this. We're up 20 basis points, that 10-year treasury yield, which was up over 4. And you can see over here testing. Let me get rid of the little arrow thing here. Look at this. It was testing the purple line, which is the 200-day moving average. We've tested it a bunch of times over the last few days, but look at how it has fallen back below that 4.03, 4.04 mark, back below 4, 3.94 right now. That's what's going on. We're just, and unless we see this turn around, and what would cause it to turn around? Arguably, the data that we saw, the Fed members saying what they're saying, all these things should be causing it to turn around, but it's not. But it's not. Now, I don't know if the markets know something that we don't. I don't know if traders are all saying something. What do you think, Ron? You're saying flight to safety for the war? I'm not buying it. I mean, I'll tell you why I'm not buying that, Ron. Let's look at this. So what Ron is pointing to, y'all, and again, Ron's super bright and knows his stuff here. So Ron is saying that flight to safety to the war, and that the idea of we would see that is because of what's going on in the headlines here, where we've had Yemen strikes, right? So let me see. It's probably, it's this right here. Houthis vow more ship attacks after US-UK airstrike. So we have an escalation of what's going on out in the Middle East. And arguably, this is going to cause a move to safety because uncertainty generally does. And we have all of this going on. However, when we take a look at the actual bonds themselves, this started to go up yesterday after that CPI inflation data. And again, Ron, the bigger thing is that would not have markets expecting this. They wouldn't be pricing in a Fed rate cut because of it. That's not part of it. Like if this was still up at 35 or 40%, and we saw bonds improving, I would attribute that to a flight to safety. But when we see, look at this, it's 85% basically, it's 83.2% expectation that we're going to see a Fed rate cut to start in March. And that's why we're seeing the improvement that we're seeing. I saw a question from Ken. Let's ask Ken's question. Ken said, did you say a Fed cut every month or every meeting? Every meeting. So they wouldn't cut outside of a meeting. There's no emergency. So it would be every meeting, and which basically means March, then May, June, July. It skips August, September, skips October, November, December. So that's what I was saying, Ken, is that every meeting, not every month. Good morning, Don Albert. Thomas Wolf, great to see you as well, my friend. Hope all is well to both of you. So Mike Morano, hello, sir. So anyway, I mean, it's where that puts us on everything. Again, we are in a good spot as far as rates go. We want to say cautiously as if we do see a shift in sentiment and this changes week, then we're going to see rates that are going to take a hit on that. Anything closing near term, again, I don't that are closing within 2 weeks because we don't know, but there's very little risk to floating them right now. Ron's pointing out that China moving ships into the Red Sea, supply chains are starting to be impacted by shipping in the Red Sea, potential economic troubles on the horizon, and the Fed wants to beat Trump and protect Democrats. Yeah, you know what? I guess we're gonna have to start talking the politics of it soon. But yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of different things that are going on, and what Ron is pointing to is basically what's going on with all the rest of the people out there, the markets and traders. They're thinking a lot of the same thing. Good morning, Mike Thibault. Great to have you here. So anyway, as far as where we go and keeping it in mind, we definitely reprice risk on the day is low. There's variance that we're going to have to worry about seeing reprices today. We can cautiously float. We can expect rates could improve from here. Not significantly, like we're not going to see them drop to, another half a point, but they are improving. And, all of this stuff, we'll see where things go. But 10-year treasury yield being below 4 is a great sign. Mortgage bonds doing well. It's going to be a good day. So what do you guys have planned for this weekend? Let me know in the comments. I am driving back North Carolina. We're going to start today, and finish up tomorrow. So that'll eat up a good chunk of my weekend. Is I am in New Jersey right now. I won't pick on it. I lived here for a long time. It is what it is. Let's see if I can get it to. There you go. So I'm hanging out in the hotel room as I have been for quite a while. And we will be leaving this afternoon. I will be heading back to North Carolina, and then thankfully back at my desk for Monday. What are you guys doing? Let me know in the comments. Ron said, if we believe the market is a forward-looking vehicle, politics are part of the near future in market speak. Absolutely. And it's going to be interesting. It's also going to be complex, right? Because if Trump is elected and he's the clear front runner, again, I don't care how people feel about the particular candidates, just looking at them like chess. So if the GOP wins, if Republicans win, that's going to be pro-business. Remember what that did the last time around when Trump won, and we saw rates actually, bonds actually did a little bit poorer because the stocks took off, but you'll see a little bit different reaction this time. As far as, if does the Fed want to keep the Democrats in? I'm not as convinced of that, but I'm also ignorant about that. I try not to, stuff just makes my head spin. So Tom said, drive safe. We've got more storms and wind rolling through North Carolina today, working this weekend, open houses tomorrow. Good for you, sir. And I will thank you. Open houses and, all that stuff. So good for you. You guys are working. Be hungry this year. It's a good year. So, all right, my friends, I'm going to wrap it up. I will see you on Monday. Remember, you can join me live today, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. If you'd like to receive a text reminder when I'm going live, to be reminded and get the link quick, so you can go ahead and this posts a link in that you can use. You can also use the QR code that's on the screen, or you can use the actual web address, hmmr.io. That's my at or /live-reminder. So, all right, y'all have a fantastic weekend. I'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye, my friends.